everyone. Welcome to another Mind Power Monday. I hope you're having a great day so far and that you had a really great weekend, doing whatever it is that makes you happy, whether you were getting stuff accomplished in your real estate investing business or taking some time for yourself, going for walks. I know some of you are in some very cold weather. My gosh, someone emailed me and I think it was minus 37 or something like that. Incredible. I'm sorry to say to all of you that are in the freezing cold. Yesterday I went for an 11-kilometer walk in the sunshine. I think it was about 8 degrees. But remember, we get tons and tons of rain. So when you get to look at the bright, beautiful snow, I'm often looking at rain and gray clouds. So there you have it. Anyhow, hope you had a great weekend and that you're ready for an amazing week. I'm Melanie Robinson and I am a real estate investor just like the rest of you. As you know, and you hear every other Monday, good morning everyone. I've done several different strategies over the years here in BC, from long-term buy and holds to BRRRRs to new builds to buying foreclosures, and several flips as well. Right now, I'm super excited. I do have some projects going on here in BC, one of which is building a fourplex over on Vancouver Island. But what I'm really focusing on right now is long-term buy and holds in New Brunswick. So I partnered up with some amazing people, boots on the ground there, and we are acquiring long-term buy and holds. So yeah, looking for joint venture partners and raising capital to buy some of the properties for cash and lift, and then joint venture with other people as well. So super exciting things happening for me in the real estate investing world. We have five properties under contract right now. So fingers crossed as we do our due diligence that all of them move forward. So super, super exciting on a real estate front. And why am I Melanie Robinson as a real estate investor coming on and doing these Mind Power Mondays with you all? My background is in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Prior to my real estate investing life, I worked with my mom in our family business, and we worked with individuals and corporations, helping them reach the next level of success. My own personal passion is that I know that we do so much limiting of ourselves and make life so much more challenging than we need to by what's going on in here, by what we're saying to ourselves, what we're thinking about. And I'm really super passionate about helping people recognize the impact that your thoughts have, what you can do to really harness the power of that and achieve the success that you want in a way that feels amazing to you, so that you can enjoy your life. Life is precious. Life is short. None of us know how long we have here. So in my opinion, as we're building success, which we all here are wanting to do, it's also really important that we enjoy our life and that we feel good as we do it, and we have the tools to be able to feel happy and to build great relationships and all that fun stuff. So that's why I share these Mind Power Mondays with you. So what the topic that we're going to talk about today is having difficult conversations. So I know that that when we're needing to have a difficult conversation, it obviously means that something isn't going well. There's a reason, that we are needing to have this conversation, and it can be really super stressful. Likely, good morning, everyone. Very likely there's been some stress leading up to that moment when you're realizing that you need to have a conversation with this person. So you've been experiencing a bunch of stress, that's not comfortable, and now you're realizing you need to have a conversation, but you don't want to do it because the idea of that is very stressful. So that's what my hope is today. My hope today is that I can share with you some tips in preparation for those conversations that will help alleviate some of your stress, help you feel better as you go through it, whether during the conversation, but also, as with everything that I share, it's about the mental preparation. What can you do inside of your own self so that you can feel better about this, so that you can move forward and do what you know you need to do? Because as a business person, and to achieve the success that we want to achieve, sometimes we do have to have those difficult conversations. And the reality is we have to have them in our own personal life, with our spouses, with our children, and all sorts of different things. So it's a really important skill to have. And if I can help alleviate any of the stress for you that comes along with it by sharing some of these tips, then I'll be super grateful for that. So first of all, you're in a situation and you need to have a conversation, but you're feeling super stressed about it. Here's the first step that you want to do before you're having this conversation. You need to get really clear on what you're wanting out of this conversation. sort of your outcome, but I'm going to talk about outcome from two different perspectives. What I want you to think about first and foremost is, what are you wanting out of this conversation? Are you letting the person go? Is it over for you? You've already decided whatever it is, whether it's a property manager or your realtor or a joint venture partner or some other kind of partner, whatever the relationship is this conversation because it's over? And that's not negotiable. You've already done whatever you need to do to come to the decision that this is over, this relationship is no longer working, and I'm terminating whatever our agreement is. Or is this conversation because I have some requests. There's some things that need to change. There's some things that aren't working, and you're requesting something of them. You're giving them an opportunity to rectify this, to make it better, to make the relationship more harmonious and cohesive, get what you need out of that relationship. So having clarity on what your intention is, what your purpose is absolutely critical before you do anything else. And I think this is where a lot of us create a huge amount of stress during the conversation and afterwards as well. Because if we don't have clarity on what we want out of this, what is our outcome from the perspective of what am I asking of that person? What is this conversation actually about from my perspective? If I don't have that clarity, if I go in with emotion, so most of us, something happens and we don't like it and it's the last straw or whatever it might be, and we come in that emotional state and we, blurt out whatever it is. Number one, we're not being the best version of ourselves, and we're not going to be able to articulate our message in the way that we want to. But also you have to think, if they come back to you with, yes, but I'll do this. Yes, but I'll do that. Okay, I'll do this. Then you are going to be very likely swayed into allowing them that opportunity again. So let's say you actually want to terminate their relationship, but you haven't gotten that clarity within yourself. You just know it's not working. And so you go to have this conversation with them and they come back to you with, yeah, but I can do this. And okay, well, I'll do that. And what do you need? And then you feel bad because you weren't really ready for that. And so you allow them the opportunity, but you don't really even know what you want from them. What's going to happen? Months are going to go by, weeks or months or days, it doesn't really matter. And very likely things are going to stay the same. And you're going to think, oh, I should have just done this 3 weeks ago or a month ago or whatever it might be. So the clarity is really super important. I can't express that enough. You need to know. So let's pretend, so that I can go through an example, let's pretend it's over for you. You no longer want this partnership, whether it's a partnership with one of your trades or your realtor or somebody on your team or a JV partner. You don't want this anymore. And so you go through the other steps that I'm going to share and you communicate with them. What that means is if they come back to you and they say, oh, I'm really sorry. I've been going through a tough time and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and I promise I'll make it better. If you know it's over and you've decided that from the beginning, you can say, thank you very much. I really appreciate your offer to do that. But because of, what's going on for me or because of my goals, I am going to have to move forward with somebody else, as an example. So when they come back to you, you can always have this sort of pat answer of, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, but no, basically. So that's why you need to have the clarity, because otherwise, every time they come back to you, you have to go back inside and you have to revisit whether or not this works for you. And you have a new decision to make again and again. So you need to have clarity. Step number one, you need to be really clear. What do you want? Is this over? Are you requesting certain things from them, certain changes? If you are, give it a timeline. Like, you need to be crystal clear on what it is that you want so that you can articulate that clearly to them, and that you're not swayed by whatever their response is, that you aren't taken off track, that you move forward with what it is that you are wanting. So that's step number one. And once you have that clarity, then it all comes down to the same old stuff I share with you every single Monday, and that is the mental preparation for this. And I'm a person who maybe some would think that I prepare too much mentally, but I take the time that's required for me to be able to come forward to the best of my ability. And I'm human and I mess up and I respond with emotion and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any stretch, but I do a lot of mental prep before I do anything, before I come on these Mind Power Mondays, before I have conversations with people, especially when I have difficult conversations with people. And some of you, I don't know, I think maybe I posted only on Ignited, but I had to let go of a realtor. Or I decided, I didn't have to, I decided to let go of a realtor that I had a long-term relationship with, that I really like him as a person, that we have a great relationship. And I just knew for me, business-wise, for what I was doing with my fourplex, that it wasn't the best fit for me from a business perspective. It was a really hard conversation for me to have. And I went through all of this that I'm sharing with you in order to be able to do that. So I got really clear. It was over for me. There wasn't a negotiation on it anymore. I was hiring somebody else for this particular project. And then I needed to do the mental prep. And let me tell you, for me, this took me a long time. So when you're doing the mental prep, what I mean by that is, so now you're setting the outcome, but you're setting the outcome for envisioning that this goes well. You're imagining the successful completion of this event, whether it's that you're sending an email and an email comes back and you get a good response, whether it's hanging up the phone, whether it's getting off a Zoom, whether it's a face-to-face, you're imagining the successful completion of this, that moment in time where you did it and you feel good and they feel good and it went well and all is good. And you want to imagine that over and over and over again, because the reason we feel stressed about it, the reason we feel bad about it, is because we imagine it not going well. We imagine that something, the stress in the beginning before we've had the conversation and the stress during the preparation of this, any of that stress is because you're imagining that it's not going to go well. You're imagining that their response is not going to be well, and therefore you feel awful inside. So the mental rehearsal of this going well, the successful completion, no, you don't have control over the outcome, truthfully. You don't have control over their response, but you do have control over how you feel as you do it. You do have control over how you come forward and your intention in that conversation. You do have control over that piece of it. So if you do all you can to be the best version of yourself, to set a positive outcome of this going well, and to be really clear on how you want to deliver this in a way that, for me, it's really important. I want to leave everyone with their dignity intact. I have no reason to go to somebody and say, you did da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you don't do this well enough, and you don't do that well enough, and you don't do this well enough, so it's over. That's not me. For me, I want to, if something isn't going well, I can assure you they're feeling that too. When you're having a conflict with somebody, when it's not the right fit, I believe we both know that, and we're just not willing to say it. Nobody has sort of the courage to do what it takes to acknowledge it and to do something about it. So I approach all of these situations knowing deep inside of me that this is the best thing for all of us, or both of us, that this is going to be the best thing for them, that I want to leave them feeling good about themselves. I want to leave them with their dignity intact. I want them to leave them feeling like this is the best thing for both of us, that we move forward without each other on this, whatever that might be. So all of those pieces of the mental preparation allow you to come forward the best version of yourself. They allow you to prepare. They allow you, and here's another piece of the, good morning, another piece of the mental preparation and the right before you're going to do it. Like I've said to you lots of times, even with doing these Mind Power Mondays, I connect with the person I'm about to speak to. I literally put my hand on my heart, I close my eyes, and I connect before I type the email, or before I pick up the phone, or before I go on, a Zoom meeting. I connect with them because I want everyone to feel good about this. I want to come from a heart-centered place. I want to come from a kind place. Just because this doesn't work doesn't mean I need to have them feeling awful about themselves as a person, that I need to be beating them up about the things. And I don't even offer the reasons why from the perspective of what they don't deliver. I offer my reasons of what I need, so that I'm not putting them down. I'm simply voicing what it is that I need. And if you do that, then you will be, again, honoring them. If somebody asks me and they say to me, you know what, I really would like your honest feedback because I want to learn from this, then I will share what pieces didn't work for me and how they might be able to improve. But I only do that when I'm invited to, because otherwise they're not asking for that. And I don't want to make anybody feel less than. I truly want to create win-wins. So challenging conversations. I know it's not easy to enter those difficult conversations. So my suggestion to you in summary is don't respond out of emotion. Don't jump into things. Things take time. If you want to do them purposefully, if you want to keep relationships intact, if you want to respect and honor people and still do what's right for you and your business, then it takes time and it takes mental preparation. And those are the things you don't see from the people who are excellent at what they do in comparison to the people that are mediocre. You can't see the mental preparation that goes into the actions that successful people typically make. So something in your life isn't working, a relationship isn't working, whether that's personally, whether that's professionally. And I don't mean, not working as in you despise them. I mean, it's not working in the way that the relationship was designed to move forward. And so this is something's going on and you need to have a difficult conversation. Step number 1, you need to be really clear on what you are entering this conversation for. What do you want out of this? Are you asking for change? If so, what is the change that you're asking for? And what is the timeline in which you need to see the change? Or it's over, you're moving on to somebody who's a better fit. Or do you already know it's not the right fit? This is not the right relationship and you're terminating that. This is a really, really important piece because it dictates how you move forward from here. It dictates your response when you are communicating with them. It dictates your mental rehearsal. It dictates everything. So before you have a difficult conversation, take the time to figure out what are you asking from them. Don't just dive into the conversation because then you'll be taken off track. I promise you. Once you have that clarity, it's time to mentally prepare. And for me with my realtor, it took me 1 month of mentally preparing before I was actually ready to do it, where I felt aligned and I could do it from the place that I needed to do it from. And yes, I had the luxury of time on that, but I waited until I was fully aligned and until I could have that conversation in a way where I could maintain the relationship, I could feel solid and aligned within myself, and I could leave him feeling like an amazing human being that this just wasn't the right fit. So take the time to mentally prepare. You want to envision, you want to mentally rehearse, you want to envision the successful outcome so that you feel it as though it happened now and it went really well. Keep envisioning that. If you feel anxious, if you feel stressed, I promise you, you're imagining it not going well. So the minute that happens, you've got to bring yourself back. You want to be amazing at what you do. You're on these Mind Power Mondays because you want to do it differently. So when you feel stressed about this conversation, you need to right away, ding, ding, you need to realize you're imagining it not going well. Stop that. And imagine it going well. Imagine hanging up the phone. Imagine walking away from your computer. Imagine leaving the coffee shop, whatever it might be. And imagine thinking, oh my gosh, that went so well. Oh, I'm so relieved. That's fantastic. Yay, they felt good. That was a great dialogue, whatever it might be. Yes, you're making it up, but your choice is you make it up that it's not going to go well, or you make it up that it is going to go well. Because whatever you're doing, if it hasn't already happened, you're making it up anyways. And that's a huge mental choice. That is a choice. If you're making it up, make it up that it went well so that you can feel good and you can prepare. You want to mentally rehearse that over and over again until you really believe it to be the truth. And then you want to connect, in my opinion, and this is only because of who I am. You don't have to be the same as me. I think that if we want to maintain relationships and we want to do it in a way where everybody's left with their dignity intact and everybody feels as good as they can feel, and yes, I know we're not in control of the outcome and the person might flip their lid and you might have to deal with that, but you will know in your heart that you've done everything possible and you know that you're coming from a good place, that you're coming from a kind intention, that you went through all of these steps to deal with this in the best way possible, to leave everybody feeling good, to do what's best for you, but also honor them. So I connect before I do anything, and I make sure that I am coming from a heart-centered place where my intention is to do what's best for me and to do what's best for them, and to do it in a way where everybody is left with their dignity intact and everybody leaves feeling amazing. Am I successful at that all the time? Absolutely not. But this is the preparation that will allow you to pick up the phone, that will allow you to send that email, that will allow you to do what you need to do to move forward in excellence in your business and in your life. Those conversations need to be had. They need to be had with our partners, with our spouses, with our trades, with our, our team, with our family, with everyone. Everything in life doesn't happen exactly as it's meant to. Every piece of a relationship or every sort of phase of a relationship isn't harmonious and beautiful at every moment. Not everything is a great fit. Sometimes changes need to happen, and we need to have the courage to have these conversations. We need to have the courage to stand up for what we know we need, want, desire, deserve, whatever it might be based on the context. And then we need to do what it takes mentally to prepare ourselves for that. I've helped a number of investors over the last month. That's why this topic has come to mind. I've helped people bow out of joint venture partnerships. I've had people bow out of partnerships. I've helped people, I've come out of that realtor relationship. There's lots of people that these difficult decisions and conversations need to be had, and it creates so much stress. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that that's really super helpful to you. And here's what I really hope. You can listen to these Mind Power Mondays and it's blah, blah. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, Mel. And then you can carry on with your life. And when something happens, dive in and throw, just jump into the conversation without thought. Or you can listen to these Mind Power Mondays and you can really take to heart what I'm sharing, and you can practice it, and you can look for opportunities in your life where you maybe wouldn't have had the courage to have this conversation, and now you will. Or maybe you put yourself through hell and back prior to these conversations where now you don't have to. Maybe you jumped in with emotion and the other person felt awful on the other end, and now you can do it purposefully and create that harmonious win-win. Everybody feels better. That's my hope for these Mind Power Mondays. I hope you take what I'm saying and you go out and you try it, practice it, see if it helps you, see if you can have those challenging or difficult conversations coming from a different place where you can feel good and achieve all the things you want. Don't have to be afraid for asking what you want. You just do it in a way that's aligned. So there you have it. How to have difficult conversations. Tips by Melanie for Mind Power Monday. I hope that was helpful. Please, I will read all your comments. As you know, I'm terrible at reading them during, because I spend hours mentally preparing for you guys, figuring out how I can share this in the best, most useful way possible. So when I read the comments, it sends me off track. I'm no longer connected sort of from a heart perspective, and I go into all the logical brain. So I will read your comments as soon as I get off here, and share with me your thoughts, share with me some challenges that you have. Private message me if you don't want to do it here in the forum. But honestly, I'm here to support you. I live this with you. I have to have those conversations just like you. I have to mentally prepare just like you. Good Lord, it took me a month, you guys, to get myself to the place that I could basically fire my realtor who I really, really like. So have a great day. Have a great week. We are here to create success. We're here to enjoy the process, to feel as good as we can feel. And we are in this together, you guys. I'm doing it just like you every single day. So have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday. Okay, bye.